So, hello everyone. Taking a kind of a different route today. My car broke, so I don't have a vehicle at the moment. So I'm taking a walk for this video. It's pretty nice out, not gonna lie. If you just look at this. It's nice and warm. There's a nice breeze. Doesn't mean I want to do it, but I've been promising a video on the DUP for like a week. Should probably do that at some point, right? But either way, I'm not going to go into a deep history lesson because that's not really my channel supposed to be. It's more ranting and getting pissed off about them, but I should also do some background information on who they are. So Northern Ireland and Ireland have had a problem for a while now, pretty much since they became, well, a thing at all. And Ireland had the whole power struggle between Catholic nationalists and Protestant unionists that turned into mutual violent murdering. So now they had something called the Good Friday Agreement, which kind of set up a power sharing government in Northern Ireland. And you have four major parties in the Northern Irish government. You have the SDLP, which is a more moderate Republican party. You have the Sinn Féin, which is the more radical Republican party. They're the ones that was more linked to the IRA back in those days. Then you have the Ulster Unionist Party, which is a more moderate Unionist party. And then you have the Democratic Unionist Party. The DUP, the ones we're talking about today, are kind of awful on just about every level. They're super anti-abortion. The idea of giving women the right to choose is just horrific to them. They're very much against gay marriage. They have known ties to terrorist organizations, Protestant paramilitary groups in Northern Ireland, which is why it's just fucking ridiculous that Theresa May and the Tories spent the last year, pretty much, accusing Jeremy Corbyn of having all these links to the IRA, calling him a terrorist sympathizer, when really he's no links to the IRA other than he was involved in peace talks. He was involved in the discussion, creating peace between nationalists in Ireland and unionists in Ireland. And then Theresa May goes and forms a coalition with people who we know have links to paramilitary groups. So it's ridiculous, it's hypocritical, but Theresa May and the Tories don't care about that. So like I was saying, the DUP is incredibly anti-gay. The whole LGBT community, they hate it. They're creationists. They don't believe in evolution. By and large, I'm sure there are some DUP people who do. By and large, the organization as a whole doesn't. They, climate change deniers don't believe in that. So that's cool. Who cares about protecting the earth on any level, right? Stupid. Oh, there's a car. Oh, it's one of my neighbors. But it's really upsetting. The Tories, I got a lot of problem with the Tories. I think by and large they're a terrible political party. I think they contribute to the rise of terrorist attacks by their policies. I believe they're just really honestly quite damaging to the United Kingdom. They have slashed and destroyed the welfare state. They've weakened the education system in their country. They're screwing over the poor, the elderly, and minorities. They're kind of like, just like Republicans in our state, in our country. But let's not get into that discussion. Don't like that. But the DUP is an appalling organization. Absolutely, on every level, disgusting. And now they're forming a coalition government with the Tories, the Conservatives in the UK. And we don't yet know what type of coalition this is going to be. It might not be a formal coalition. They're kind of looking at this idea where they'll work with them on an issue-by-issue basis, where the Tories will essentially agree to support certain issues the DUP wants, while and in exchange the DUP will send their support for big ticket issues of the conservatives. This creates a lot of problems, and outside of just the political policies of the DUP, which are horrendous, as I've mentioned, the United Kingdom's government, Westminster, is supposed to be a neutral, impartial arbiter in problems that arise in between the nationalists and unionists in Northern Ireland. In Northern Ireland, actually, there's a huge problem right now where the two major parties, so there's nationalists and unionists in the Northern Ireland Parliament, their assembly. And for the first time ever, unionist parties don't have a majority. But part of the setup of their government is the government needs to be made of the largest unionist party and the largest nationalist party, which I believe right now is the DUP and Sinn Féin. Sinn Féin was in the last government and resigned, which is what called the election, after the leader of that party just did some pretty shitty stuff. I think it was something to do with water management. I can't really remember. The article was months ago at this point. And now they don't have a government because they can't agree to form one. So it's going to revert back to Westminster rule, which no one really likes because that created a lot of problems last time around. And now the government of Westminster is at the mercy of one of the parties that they're supposed to be neutral arbiters between. That's not good. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't expect this is going to lead to another flare for the Troubles. I don't expect the IRA to start launching bombs all over the place again. I don't expect the Ulster, I can't remember their name. It's the paramilitary group in Northern Ireland that's associated with the Unionists. I don't expect them to rise back and street battles to kick out in Belfast. I don't think that's going to happen. But what is going to happen is increased polarization in Northern Irish politics because the DUP now has their hands right around the balls of the Tories. The Tories can't do shit without support from the DUP. And the DUP knows this. So minor coalition partners actually feel they have an enormous amount of power. And they're not in a formal coalition, which gives them some serious influence. They don't have to do everything the Tories do, but the Tories have to do what the DUP wants, or the Tories can't get any of their policies through. Theresa May called this election because she wanted to strengthen her hand for Brexit and fucked it up royally. And now she's got to work with a reduced number of Tory MPs and convince the DUP to work with her. So we got problems here on all levels. The horrendous policies of the DUP, and what some Tories are mentioning, they might make concessions to the DUP on issues of abortion rights, gay marriage, just other issues that the DUP are super pumped about, like denying climate change, creationism, stuff like that. And the Tories might have to make those concessions if they want to pass their legislative agenda. The DUP have become the kingmakers of this election. Northern Irish political parties never have influence in UK elections because there is 17 seats in Northern Ireland. 17. They never matter. Very, very rarely do they ever matter. And they're not supposed to because, as I said, the Good Friday Agreement, the UK government is supposed to be a neutral arbiter of disputes, and now they've made it so they can't. Because now they have to take sides. Because if they don't take a side, if they don't back the DUP in these issues, the DUP is going to pull out the coalition, and the Tories are going to sit on their asses for 4 years, or they're going to have to call a snap election again, in which they're likely to lose even more seats. The DUP, led by Arlene Foster, is an atrocious party. And honestly, there's no good ending to this. Because the DUP is going to keep squeezing the balls of the Tories. They're going to grip them tight, and they're not going to let go until they get everything they fucking want. And this is going to lead to more tensions in Northern Ireland, an increased sense of just political gridlock in the UK. it really is rather disappointing. So, that's all I really got to say about this issue. I'm sorry it's not much of a yelly one, but it's mainly because I'm walking around in public and I don't want to start screaming. So, thanks for listening. I'll try to get up a couple more videos in the next couple of days. Tune in next time. Subscribe, share, like this video. Go like me on Facebook, Rose Rants. Follow my Twitter, also Rose Rants. And if you have any suggestions of things you want me to cover, leave a comment, send me a message again on my Twitter or my Facebook page, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks, everyone.